Wedding cake deliveries are never stress-free. What you're about to see is very real, raw footage. I was planning on creating this tutorial as a video showing how I went from start to finish, creating, painting, decorating, delivering this entire wedding cake order. And the sad part is that this full wedding cake never quite made it to the wedding cake table. This is the story of how it fell.
Alright, it's time to rock and roll.
When it comes to delivering a wedding cake, there are several ways bakers will tend to approach this, because it's kind of the craziest thing where we take something super, super soft, stick it together with something that melts, and stack it 50 pounds, 3 tiers high, and try to drive it somewhere. Some people won't even stack their cakes until they reach the venue, where they'll assemble the tiers there at the venue on site. Most bakers, you'll find, put a wooden center dowel through the entire cake, which enables them to deliver it safely without having any mishaps, which is what I did for a long time until I found the Cake Safe, which I absolutely love, and it takes so much stress off delivery. I've been using my Cake Safe for about a year now. With this particular cake, I was worried about the small top tier. It was just a 4-inch cake, and I wasn't sure how the center dowel of the Cake Safe was going to interact with that tiny 4-tier cake. I was worried that it might split it right down the middle, almost like a piece of wood. And I didn't want that to happen in the moment of going out the door to deliver. This thought process really didn't occur to me until the cake was already made and the process was underway. Otherwise, I would have made a small 4-inch cake in advance and tested it to see how it had done. However, it came down to this moment where I was thinking through it and just was worried about putting that center metal dowel through it for the Cake Safe. So what I did is I went back to my old method of using a wooden dowel through the whole cake that punches right down through the cake drum at the bottom. And this has always worked brilliantly and done its job in holding up a cake. I still put the cake inside the Cake Safe in order to protect it from any kind of dust or debris and to help kind of insulate it a little bit. So it was sitting there pretty sturdy inside the Cake Safe, which is very heavy and is able to hold its weight down. I thought that I'd be able to safely drive it to the venue. The venue I was delivering to was 2.5 hours away, and I'd never been there, and so I didn't know what the drive-in was going to be. I didn't know about the dumb hill.
We're okay. We're okay. We're okay.
Okay, and the video doesn't even do it justice how steep this hill actually was. And it wasn't just the fact that it was steep, it was 2 switchbacks going down to get to this venue that was kind of in the bottom of this little valley, this little canyon.
Holy crap, holy crap. The person behind me is like, what is wrong with you? Oh my gosh, 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 oh my gosh. I think that was the worst of it. Oh my gosh, it was the turns. Oh.
I kind of love and also super hate that I was filming a tutorial and caught all of this on camera. I pulled into the venue and found this.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and see where I'm taking this thing to make sure that I have a clear path. Oh my gosh.
That's what I noticed.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'll post this or not. But I think it's only fair to be completely honest sometimes. This is a $1,200 order.
These are the moments when being a cake decorator is not so fun. The whole cake was in shambles, and that center dowel that should have done its job didn't, and it amazes me that it didn't. Honestly, I just felt sick to my stomach. I, at that moment, thought that the cake was completely unsalvageable. But when you have a cake fail, when something falls over and you're in this kind of situation, the first thing you have to know is this is not the time to cry. You'll get to cry later. This is time to problem solve. I didn't know if I'd be able to save anything, but I was going to try my darndest to get something on their cake table. I still had the sheet cakes, and I was going to see what I could salvage of this 2-tier cake. I always bring along a delivery kit, a repair kit, in case of any mishaps along the way. My repair delivery kit includes my spatula, my scraper, extra buttercream, and normally I bring along any kind of colors or metallics or additional decor that I may have included in the design of the cake, and I pack that along with me so I can use it if needed. Having this cake tip over was nowhere on my radar. It was supposed to be a smooth, easy, perfect, seamless delivery, and so all I have with me is my buttercream and my spatula. The very first thing that I did when I got there before anything is I found the bride and gave her a hug and asked if I could talk to her. I told her, I don't want this to ruin your day at all. The cake fell over. I'm going to try and fix it, but please don't worry about it. I'm going to give you a full refund. We can talk about that later. You enjoy the day and don't even stress about the cake. First, I get the top 2 tiers off of that bottom tier, and I cut away the mess that is the smushed bottom tier. I put it on a plate. I clean up that bottom tier so that it looks okay. It's not a mess anymore. They'll be able to cut it and serve it. And now I have to decide what I'm going to do with those top 2 tiers. I'm going to take my buttercream and I'm going to try to patch over the parts that got smushed. There's like a whole gouge in the cake missing. And so I know I'm going to have to use the freezer, which luckily there's a freezer on hand that my cake fits into. I'll put it in the freezer and I'll be able to put some buttercream on the top and kind of hide the gouge that's in the cake. I didn't start filming until I was already into the process of cleaning things up. And so I took those top 2 tiers off and I had to adjust the center towel, which was still in the cake. I had to pull it out because I couldn't set those top 2 tiers down with the center dowel in it. But I got them off. I put them on a new plate, and the venue owner had this cake stand that we decided to put it on to help kind of dress it up and make it look taller. I think one of the worst parts of this whole experience was that you have to do this walk of shame where you're carrying what was supposed to be the cake, the centerpiece, and everybody's kind of peeking to see what you've got, and they know. It's pretty darn obvious that it's not what it's supposed to be. The one thing that is kind of my saving grace with this cake design is the whole theme of the wedding is Monet Garden. So it's texture, it's floral, it's impressionistic. I might be able to do something with this cake to pass it off. Extra buttercream and borrow some food coloring from the venue owner, and I'm able to add a little painted design on the sheet cakes to put on the table to help kind of make it feel more full and to help dress it up a little bit. At this point, I'd also found the mother of the bride and spoke to her since she was also involved in booking the cake. And I just don't even know what to say about her and the bride. They were so gracious, so kind. They obviously understood what the true important focus of the day was, and that the cake was just a part of that. But I assured both of them that I was going to be offering a refund in full, which they were like trying to refuse, but that was my personal policy. If I mess it up, then I refund. In all, I was there like a whole extra hour. I got this on the table and it actually pulled off decently. I don't know what to say. It's been a very humbling experience as someone who does this a lot and charges a lot and considers himself a professional in the industry. It's like a punch to the gut to have this happen. I feel like it was a decent save and it was the best I could do. I'm gonna refund them in full because that's what you gotta do.
here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be devastated about it today. And I'm gonna be really upset. And I'm gonna rethink if I want to ever do this again. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board and figure out how I can never let this happen again. And what I can change for next time so that it doesn't happen. And it'll be okay. I guess that's what I want to tell you is I'm still alive, and it sucks that I'm going to refund a $1,200 order, and it sucks that they didn't get the cake they wanted because it was beautiful. But life's going to go on, and everything's going to be okay. And they were so kind and so gracious about it. Everybody was. And there's life after a cake death. I guess that's what I want to tell you.
I messaged the bride's mom the following day to offer that refund in full, and she truly continued to refuse it, so we found a compromise. I refunded her the difference between a 3-tier to a 2-tier cake, as well as the delivery fee, since that was a flop. I truly can't say enough about how kind these customers were. Here's what I'll do differently next time I deliver a wedding cake. First, I did not put enough dowels in that bottom tier. It did not have enough structure to stop the cake from tipping. I only put 4 dowels in the bottom tier. When you're putting dowels in a tier for structure and holding purposes, you need to put as many dowels in that tier as there are inches diameter in the tier that's going to be on top of it. So this 8-inch cake had a 6-inch tier on top of it. It should have had 6 dowels in that bottom tier, and I only did 4. I thought they were big dowels. I thought it was a small enough cake that it wasn't going to make a difference, and it made a difference. So definitely follow that rule. The second thing that I will do differently next time is I will absolutely use my Cake Safe metal dowel to put through the whole thing, because that would have saved the cake. As if this video isn't human enough, here's me doing my dishes. And I hope that everything I've been able to share that is so just honest and clear and transparent and real and raw, I hope that it helps you feel like A, it's okay to make mistakes, that you learn from them, and you're going to be able to keep going after that, and B, feel a little bit like you can grow no matter what, because somebody who's a couple steps ahead of you is still having issues and learning from them. We're all human, and we're all just trying to run the best businesses that we can, and I want you to feel like you can still put yourself out there. You can still work hard and do the things you want to do, even if there's a few hiccups along the way. If this video helped you and you learned something, please give it a like and subscribe to the Out of Home Baker so I can continue to teach you how to grow your skills as a decorator. And if you're ready to take your baking business to the next level and monetize and create a profit and build a life that you love around your creative passion, check out the Business School for Bakers. It's a place where you can learn everything from marketing to pricing and all the nitty-gritty stuff that happens on the back end, so that you can actually step into the shoes of a CEO and run your own business your way. The link to register yourself for the Business School for Bakers and find more information about the program is listed below in the description. Happy baking, my friends, and remember, there is life after cake death.